Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Food Tech Talk. Today we are going to talk about a crucial aspect of food safety, HACCP. If you are in the food industry or just curious about how to keep your food safe, this video is for you. So let's dive in and explore what HACCP is all about. HACCP stands for Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Points. It is a systemic approach to identifying and controlling hazards in the food production process. HACCP is a globally recognized standard for ensuring food safety. Building a HACCP system requires a structural approach, which includes prerequisite programs and HACCP plan. PRP stands for Prerequisite Program, which is a fundamental concept in food safety management. PRP is a set of procedures and practices that establish the foundation for a food safety management system. The primary purpose of PRP is to ensure that the food production environment is safe and suitable for producing safe food products. PRPs focus on preventing contamination and ensuring that good manufacturing practices are followed. Some examples of PRPs include cleaning and sanitation procedure, personal hygiene, traceability and recall program, pest control programs, receiving, storage and shipping procedures, supplier control and training, etc. Next is HACCP plan or HACCP plan, a roadmap that guides food manufacturers in identifying and controlling hazards in their production process. By developing and implementing a HACCP plan, food manufacturers can ensure that their products are safe for consumption. There are five preliminary steps to creating HACCP plan. First one is assemble the HACCP team. Next, describe the food and its distribution. Describe the intended use and consumer of the food. Develop a flow diagram which describes the food. Verify the flow diagram. There are seven principles are interconnects and interdependence forming a framework for developing and implementing HACCP plan. These are the seven principles of HACCP. Conduct hazard analysis for all your process. Determine critical control points. Establish critical limits. Establish monitoring procedures. Establish corrective actions. Establish proper verification procedures. Establish record keeping and documentation. First principle is conduct hazard analysis for all your process. Let's talk about first principle of HACCP. What is hazard analysis? Simply put, it's the process of identifying and evaluating potential hazards associated with your food products. Think of like a risk assessment. You are trying to figure out what could go wrong and how likely it is to happen. This could be biological hazard like salmonella or E. coli, chemical hazards like pesticides or heavy metals, or physical hazards like glass or metal fragments. This is the categorization of hazards. Biological hazards like bacteria, virus, protozoa, chemical hazards, pesticide, heavy metals, toxins, physical hazards, foreign bodies, insects, employees, personal items. This table it is an example of hazard analysis in drinking water. The hazards are biological, physical, radiological, and chemical. The biological hazards are pathogenic microorganisms, bacteria, virus, protozoa. Chemical hazards, iron, manganese, nitrates. Physical, suspended dirt particles. Radiological, uranium. The second principle, identify critical control point. What is critical control point or CCP? It is a point in your food production process where you can control or eliminate a hazard. It's like a checkpoint where you can ensure that your food product is safe. Critical control points are processing steps that are applied to the product to keep it safe and free from any hazard, health hazard. The most common critical control points are the cooling of potentially hazardous food, thermal processing, and consistent maintenance of temperature for cooked food, and ingredient storage such as in hot holding foods. Other less common CCPs include physical hazard detection, thermal process, refrigeration, chemical testing, and even some advanced testing such as RT-PCR detection of pathogenic microorganisms. Principle is establish critical limits. Minimum and maximum limits the critical control point must meet to prevent, eliminate, or reduce a hazard to an acceptable level. A good example of critical limit would be the minimum internal temperature for cooking foods. For cooking poultry raw meat, the food must be cooked at least 74 degrees Celsius, with specified heating times to ensure that cells of salmonella and other pathogens are removed. Below this limit, the dish may be considered unsafe food and cause severe illness when consumed. Here are some parameters in which critical limit can set: temperature, time, humidity, viscosity, pH, salt level, chlorine level. The fourth principle is establish monitoring procedures. What the parameters that need to be monitored, example internal temperature for cooking, and how the monitoring procedure involved in detecting the chemical or physical parameter. Example of monitoring activities may include using a calibrated thermometer to check the temperature of a heat process or other physical and chemical measurements. Next is when or frequency. The required instances when monitoring is a must. Example for every new cooking load. Next is who. The assigned personnel for performing the CCP and monitoring task. Example, staff or cook. The next is fifth principle, establish corrective actions. To corrective action procedure should state how to bring the process back under control, what to do with product procedure, while the process was not controlled, who is responsible for the corrective action. Product produced while the process was not under control should either be reworked, reprocessed, or rejected. Reworking or reprocessing the product should only occur if the business can assure that the hazard can be eliminated or reduced to a safe level. A record of the corrective action taken must be maintained. The sixth principle, establish proper verification procedure. The HACCP team must also create plans for regular aspect of verification that will help ensure that the food safety plan is functioning as expected. The verification principle also ensures that the current HACCP system is being followed by the whole team. The types of verification procedure: first is validation, second is CCP verification, then HACCP system verification, and regulatory verification. Last principle of HACCP is establish record keeping and documentation procedure. All food safety documents related to HACCP system must be properly documented and filed. A part of the 7 HACCP principle requires record keeping procedures for all important activities such as the HACCP plan itself, the summary of food safety hazard analysis, monitoring program, deviations, corrective actions, verifications, and standard operating procedures. Documentation of accurate records will serve as proof of whether the HACCP plan is effective or not. Include an effective plan summary table of your entire HACCP plan. Accurate record keeping will also entail compiling other documents such as CCP monitoring records, employee training records, verification reports, and biological risk assessments involved in your HACCP plan. Then, what are the benefits of HACCP? To demonstrate safe food control, systematic, consistent approach, fever reject, or cost effectiveness can help identify process improvement and reduce customer complaints. Focus of resources to critical areas, complements and strengthen the quality management system. International acceptance enhances customer satisfaction or reduces dissatisfaction. This was today's video on HACCP. I hope you now have a better understanding of this important food safety standard. Remember, HACCP is all about identifying and controlling hazards in the food production process. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on food safety and technology.